Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday evening. It is 9 o'clock. Time for a Friday night blether. But first, a little music. You enjoy.
We are all the heirs to Scotland, as a nation proudly stand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let a flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. To the world we bid a welcome in 1,000 different ways. We will toast to long lost friendships as we build our better days. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. We are all the heroes of Scotland. We're a nation hand in hand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum.
Good evening, folks. Oh, good evening, Toffee. As far as the photography is concerned, Bass, um, don't forget, I do have a degree in photography and graphic art. So it's just a wee bit different when you take that into consideration. I'm not showing off or anything, I'm just reminding you, had you forgotten. Um, and the other thing, of course, that I would add to that, and I've always added it in, is ever since I was a wee boy, I've been looking at professionally taking photographs. Not by me, of course, uh, but my mother had a whole collection of Hollywood photographs that she sent for, and the studios sent out in those days. And I would quite often look at these, and a lot of the photographs of relatives in the family were taken by professional photographs as well, including photographs of my mother, I might add. So I if you like, I grew up with that in the background, looking at professionally taking photographs. And then I went and studied the subject. So that's a factor when you look at any of the photographs that I produce. So I'll show you another one if you don't mind. If you want to see another one, I'll let you see another photograph. Where are we? Give me a minute. And you can have a look at this. Let me see. It's the same person. There you are. There she is. Now, let me add, when you look at the photograph, what I want you to understand, folks, but I'm speaking directly to Bass here, is Lorraine's not wearing any special makeup. This is the makeup that she would wear when she's out in the street, because we have been out for the evening here. We have just come in from the pub. This is a couple of years back, right? And I wanted to take a photograph, so I took this photograph. So she's not wearing anything special in terms of makeup or anything else, actually. But she is one of these people, and there are a few people like this who the camera just loves. And Lorraine happens to be one of them, and I was very fortunate because she wanted me to produce. This is years ago, obviously, when I first met Lorraine and her mum. She wanted me to produce a set of photographs for her. But what I made for her was a portfolio, which was slightly different from what she was asking for at the time. This is one of the photographs. Well, I always like to point that out, that she's not wearing anything special in terms of makeup. She's getting no help. What you see is Lorraine. That's her. And I know how attractive she is. So, but she enjoyed the camera, and the camera really, really liked her. And she was a great model because she didn't know anything about modeling. And so she took instructions without arguments, without hesitations. She just enjoyed the whole process. And we had a good time when we were doing that years ago. So there you go. That's where it comes from. Whoops. That's what you're saying. I can see the same person from the thumbnail one. It's the left cheek, nose, neck, and the left eye. People are unique, aren't they? They certainly are. They certainly are. Very unique. Toffee. I hate having my photo taken. Makes me feel uncomfortable. Well, perhaps that's partly due to the fact that you haven't had someone with a camera that you're comfortable with. Lorraine has never modelled for anyone else, which she did once, and she was so disappointed. And it was the same thing. There was a distance you could see it in the photograph. The guy was his mind was elsewhere. Let's put it this way. But when I take up a camera, it's only the photograph that I see. That's the difference. If anything else comes over, then that's because she's making it happen and I'm making it happen. Photography is a fascinating thing, and photographing people is fascinating. Got a ton of photographs of Lorraine. Uh, there's, uh, Here's another one for you. There you go. Should recognise the hat. It's mine. And she's a natural blonde, by the way, so that doesn't do any harm either. uh, let's see what else. What else? Okay, I'll let you see another photograph. That's Helen, my late wife. Good evening, Doberman. So that's Helen. Not as pretty as Lorraine, certainly, but attractive in her own way. What else? Let you see one more. This is something quite different again. This is a photograph of my Laura, done in the style of a film noir poster. I much prefer brunettes, says Toffee. I personally find her more beautiful. I don't ever have a preference when it comes to hair colour with women, to be honest. Just so happens Laura happens to be an actual blonde. But you can see that if you know anything about movies, you can see that this is very much a film noir type movie poster, which is what I based it on when I took the photograph. And else you might want to see. There's one there. See what you think of this. This is Laura again. I mean, it didn't mean to start off doing this, but here we are. So there you go, boss. That's my Laura. I've got a thing about noses on a woman, says Toffee. I like a distinctive nose. DJ and Sensum, take the piss. Well, this is Laura. As you again, what you may be interested in, and I'm only saying this because you refer to yourself as an amateur photographer, okay? So I'm speaking to you directly, Bass. And because you refer to yourself that way, I'm going to tell you that this photograph that you're looking at, this is another thing that I did a lot of. This is actually a mirror image. So it's lateral reversed. I always found that fascinating. Now, as I say, the only reason that makes any difference is when I tell you that. But if you look at it, there's no way to know. But because you refer to yourself as an amateur, I thought I'll tell you so that perhaps one day you might want to try the experiment yourself. Good evening, DJ. So I hope you like it. As I say, that's Lorraine's mum. That's my good lady, Laura. That's the same night, by the way, we were out. I just took a whole series of photographs that night. I happened to have film and a camera. That's the other thing I was going to say. Because of what you said about yourself, how you referenced yourself. The only camera I have left now that actually still works is a 35mm film camera. which is what I was using there. Good evening, James, Tyler, Carol. Greetings, everyone. Good evening to you. It was probably, yeah, it was. It was before you actually became a regular viewer here, Bass. But some of the other folk who have been regulars for a long time, I spent one evening on a live stream here and showed some of my portfolio photographs. Most of them were far too big to reduce to that size because it was prints I had. But people seemed to enjoy it. Bass. Thanks, John. I will. It's just that I left my fascination long time ago. Just took interest recently. Sometimes that happens, doesn't it? I'm the same with certain things. You know, I haven't taken photographs for a long time. I took photographs of Lorraine for years and years. And she asked me to stop. And so I did. I stopped taking photographs of her. And now, and I haven't had a car for a long time, many years. And that's another factor about photography. You know, makes it difficult to get around if you don't have a car, which means it makes it difficult to get to locations. So but I love taking photographs. I just love taking photographs. But I'm not really physically able anymore. Here's another one that you might like. I'm sure there's a good reason, Toffee, why you're fascinated with a woman's nose. I'm sure if we were in a private place, you would explain it to me. Well, this is another one of Lorraine here, Vass. And that was actually used in a poster at one point. I came here for Diane Abbott. Dear, oh dear. Now that's my Lorraine. A whole series of photographs like that. So there you go. And how are you, DJ? Are you all right? I hope you're all right. I suppose I could let you see this. Here's a photograph I took a long time ago. This was taken in Glasgow city centre. So I don't know if you like that. Used to that would when I was doing that sort of thing, it was called street photography, where you you can't do that now. People are very sensitive now. But I used to enjoy doing that, street photography. I don't know who the man was, by the way. He was a workman. It's just off George Square, that. And then, of course, we get this is I'll show you this. This is a photograph of me. This is called a derivation, by the way. That's the technical name for it. Derivation. It was used as a poster. Good evening, Julia. Now, why it's called a derivation is because all the midtones have been stripped out of it. So it's high contrast. So that's why it looks the way it looks. But the technical name is derivation. So there you go, folks. Oh, you're talking about the other one? I hope so. No, he was a street worker. He worked digging holes and filling in holes in the street. If it's the other photograph you're talking about, Bass. Yeah, he was all right. One of your typical Glaswegian type fellas. So there you go. Well, I don't get out and about anymore to take photographs. Here's another one. See, I can go on all night like this. Not because I'm showing off, it's just because I love photography. Oh, the man with a hat bass, yeah, he was a worker on the street. I happened to pass and asked him, was it okay? Yes, says he. So there you go. There's another photograph. And this is a car bench seat they're sitting on, by the way. I've used this a few times for different projects. So there you are. Not something you see very often nowadays, of course. Depends on if you know where to go. You can come across people like that. They're always great for a blether. They'd be on crack now. You may well be right. You may well be right. Junkies. You may well be right. Back then it would be cheap wine. So it would. Cheap wine. Cheap wine. What else you want to see? If you want to see more photographs, I'll show you more photographs. Got a few here. This is a blast from the past, you might say. Landscape. You want a landscape? I don't know if I have any handy, to be honest. So this is a group known as the Teen Beats. So we're talking about, what, 1960 here? It was, Tremors, beg your pardon, this the Tremors. I was given this photograph to retouch, to patch up, get rid of all this destruction on the photograph, which I did. It took me forever, of course. But that's one of the things that I learned at college, was to do that kind of work. Landscape. I don't think I've got a landscape here. Yeah, I don't think so. Right. Have another look. Oh, there's a landscape there, John. What are you talking about? Monk. Maybe not quite the landscape you were thinking on, but it's a landscape. There you go. Sillius, how you doing there, my friend? That film that Robin Williams did was quite good. 1 hour photo. I'm sure it was called. Ah, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he plays the serial killer. Yeah, that's what it was called. He played quite a serious role, which is unusual for him. An unsettling but good film. Yes, I have seen it. Celeste, I have seen it. It's very good, and he's very good in it. Well, I get barred from that castle. They thought I was trying to sneak in, which I wasn't, but never mind. That's me. I'll do anything to get a photograph. Uh, so I hope you like it. I'm sure that's what it was called, 1 hour. I was not a big fan of Robin Williams, but he was very good in that, I thought. So there you are, folks. I hope you enjoy it. And you've seen it. Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? That was on our way up to Drumnadrochit. Stopped to take that photograph. Well, I stopped to take that photograph. What else have we got here? Anything else worth looking at? Well, I'll let you see this. Oh. This is another fascination of mine when I've got a camera in my hand. Thank you, Carol. I have a fascination for trees. How about that? That's a castle. It's a very famous castle. Oh, that's for sure. Absolutely correct there, Bass. No doubt. This, however, that you're looking at now, wow, look at you. Redwood. Yeah, love trees. Fascinating. This is the Arizona desert, by the way. I know it might not look it, but it is. Again, fascinating landscape. Look at that sky. Isn't that something else? Just amazing. Just amazing. I think that's about it. Oh no, there's that one, of course. You will have seen this surely. It belongs to the channel now. That's more redwoods in Britain than California now, John. Ah, is that right? Carol saying, I love trees, right? Good company here then. More redwoods in Britain. Wow. Good, they must have felt, they must have taking a few down then. I'll try this. How about that? Is that a nice landscape? Climate's changed. I can believe that, Dollarman. Mismanagement, I can definitely believe that. That's Scotland, by the way. In fact, it's just down the coast from me. It's Largs. Quite beautiful, don't you think? Largs. So there you are. They say there's no Lord to silly. Just have to look at nature and it's all the evidence you need. It's all the evidence you need. That's what I say. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. And you get that, you get that all the time down there. It's just amazing. You have all this beauty around us all the time. All the time. Or you have the other side. I mean, it is beautiful, this as well, but in a different way, it's beautiful. Hang on, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. How about that for beauty? Yeah. Isn't that beautiful? Enough to put you in your place, eh? Yeah. Let's hope you're wrong, boss. Let's hope you're wrong. That's like my love making. But isn't that something else, though, eh? Wow, that's something else. That's Guruk. Good evening, Robert. I saw you were watching our mutual friend, Roy. I saw him on the replay. You were obviously watching him live. That's exactly it. Ferocious old raw power. Something else, that. Amazing. I'm sure you've seen enough photographs now. Photography is just brilliant. One of the greatest things that we've ever done is create photography. I think so. I think that's one of the greatest things we've ever invented and developed. Photography. Brilliant. I suppose see, I just can't stop once I start. That's the trouble. Oh, one of Lorraine coming up. And that'll be it. It's got to be the last one. That'd be silly. This is one. This is one that's in our portfolio. So there you go. It's a single. It's lit by a single flash bus, handheld flash, way off to the left of the camera, high up. Very, very influenced, of course, that photograph by classical Hollywood. Took me years before I recognized the influence in my own photographs. So there you go. You see what you started. As I say, I'm very involved in photography. Have you shown your old town photos? Asked Robert. No, I have not. Robert, I haven't shown them. This all started because Bass made a comment. He was asking about the thumbnail, and that's what got me started. I didn't mean to start showing photographs. And I would need to go looking for them because they're not in this particular folder that I've got opened. So I'd need to go looking for them. I'll show you this one because it's a pure fantasy one. So it was made. This is taken from. This is taken from my film, The Legend of Lascala. This is the hero and the heroine on their wedding day. Although there's a full moon in the photograph, which doesn't make any sense, of course. But it makes for a good photograph. That's right, Bass. You're so correct. That's why it's Friday night. And you can see the beautiful dress that she's wearing here. We were very fortunate I got that costume. It's actually my sister's. Well, it's mine now. She gave it to me as a costume for this project. Well, thank you. I appreciate your input to this. Nobody has ever made that input before, so I appreciate it. This is a story of a great love tragedy that happens on a wedding day. The blood red, white, and black. Protophage. Rory wants to know, or he's asking, what brands of camera did you use, John? Well, let me fasten up my heart. Yeah. When I was in business, and before I was in business, no, I really got it when I started business. Yeah. All the time I was in business, I had a Hasselblad 2.5 square negatives, an 80mm lens, and a 60 meter lens. I had Yashica 2.5 square plus a 35mm film camera. My main camera was a Hasselblad. Well, it all fits, Doberman, to the story. So there's a question answered, Rory. I had the best camera that you can get for stills, and I lost it all. All my photographic equipment had to be sold, including my beloved Hasselblad kit. I had several backs for it, including the Polaroid back, professional hood, lens hood. Yeah, I had a lot of really good equipment, but I had to sell it all off to pay the banks back. Here's to the banks, eh? So I have nothing left from those days. That's what I've got left. I've got a 35mm camera that was not left over from those days, but was bought shortly after Helen died. Usually, yeah, I lost everything. My electronic flashes, stands, tripods, you name it, I had it. You name it, I lost it. When did I last do any photography? Oh gosh, that's a dash good question. When did I do last photography? Probably when I took these, if you just give me a minute, I'll try and find them. Is that here? Oh, no, that's not them. They're not there. Need to find where they are. I can show you them if I can find them. Let's see. So see, I've got them scattered all over the place, simply because of the way I've been taking them. I'm sure I had them here. Obviously not. It's always the same, isn't it? You're looking for something, you can't find it. Especially when you think you know what it is. That's what it is, in there. These are the last photographs I took. And I'll show you them. I'll show you one of them, okay. Show you two. This is when I treated myself recently. I wanted to see how I looked. And bought myself a new hat. And that's the last photographs I took. So I hope you like it. Glad you like it, Anglo. There you go. That's the last photographs. Now, when did I take them? Actually, it's not a fedora. It's not a fedora. It's let me read. I still have a photo of a Peruvian rainforest jaguar at the riverbank, staring right back at me from just 50 odd yards away. The guides, the biologist, and the rest of the party couldn't believe my luck. Wow. Wow. Alex Higgins. No, it's not a trilby either. It's what's it called? Shoot. It'll come back to me. But no, it's not a trilby. It might look like a trilby, but it's not. It's perhaps the way I'm wearing it. It's not a trilby, and it's certainly not a fedora, because I've got a fedora. I bought that last year when I was beginning to feel a bit better. You know, when I was getting near the end of my chemotherapy. Uh, Berg, B-E-R-G. I don't know why it's going out of my mind, but it's going out of my mind. I wanted a new harp for going out, dressing myself up to feel uh, alive again after going through the. Oh, that's good. I'm pleased to hear that. Dad did chemo, still clear. That's great. Good for him. Well, as the doctors tell me, Doberman and everyone else, you don't get rid of cancer. You don't get rid of cancer. You just, they've got it contained. That's what they tell me. They have it contained. No, it's not that either. Oh, God. That's it. Thank you. Hamburg. That's what it is. It's exactly what it is. Thank you. I can't say I have, Julia. Not even heard of it. Leukemia. No idea. It's a form of cancer, of course. I've got lung cancer. I've got two kinds of cancer, they tell me. Ah, a good film to review. Yeah. Oh, you mean a documentary, Julia? Yeah. Not my pick. So anyway, that's the hat. I've only worn it a few times. I wore it to the laying of the wreath in the cemetery on behalf of the party, and I wore it on a night out. I haven't had it on since because I haven't been anywhere really since. I was out with the family last week, but there wasn't really an occasion to get all dressed up. So there you go, folks. I thought you knew bass. I thought most people knew. Yeah, it came up on me last year. Never even heard anything about it, Julia, so I don't know. Well, I don't know the movie at all, Julia. Sent some put a documentary up last time. About the mountain climbing. I've got a wee video here, and I don't know if you've seen it or not. I just thought I'd like to bring it because it's just it's one of these things, you know. Have a listen.
The latest incarnation of dangerous, radicalizing right-wing propaganda has been identified. And it is, check notes, 200-year-old paintings of the English countryside. Leave me alone! You think I'm exaggerating, don't you? God, I wish I was. The Fitzwilliam Museum has suggested that paintings of the British countryside evoke dark, nationalist feelings. Oh, scary. The new signage states that pictures of rolling English hills can stir feelings of pride towards the homeland. Oh no, pride towards the homeland. Whatever next, love for your country. I mean, who hasn't gone to an art gallery and stared intently at the serene, bucolic beauty of a constable, then immediately gone out and committed a hate crime? They've basically run the entire museum through a woke purity filter and made all the gallery displays inclusive and representative, which in practice means filling the museum with random paintings of black people and nebulous, pretentious trash like this. In a gallery displaying a bucolic work by Constable, visitors are informed that there is a darker side to the nationalist feeling evoked by images of the British countryside, namely the implication that only those with a historical tie to the land have a right to belong. They're basically upset that Constable didn't have the foresight to fill the background of his landscapes with high-rises full of Bomalians. Mr. Sison has insisted the shake-up of the museum is not woke or radical chic, saying being inclusive and representative shouldn't be controversial, it should be enriching. Basically, they want old English countryside paintings to be more diverse. So short of defacing or destroying them altogether, they got some Nigerian guy to paint this monstrosity of a piece, showing what presumably they think the average British family looked like 2 centuries ago. Remember, these are the same people who claim that England hundreds of years ago looked like a typical modern television commercial. The same people who claim black people built Stonehenge. The same people who gave us this. And the same people who insist the countryside is racist, basically because a bunch of white people still live there. So it's pretty funny to see how threatened they are, merely by the existence of classic works of art that can't be deracinated by lying about their heritage.
There you go. The rest of it's just him advertising his site and what have you. You should probably know. Good evening, ultra-nationalist. I know what you mean. Just kind of drips off, doesn't it? I'm proud to be anti-government. Doorstep them is the answer. Anglo. Older than time, destroy a people's history. Yeah, well. We'll see. We will see. If you've seen that before, you're probably like me, you know, just kind of dumbfounded by what the heck, you know? Tee you off. So it just tee you off. Piece of nonsense. What else were we talking? What was I talking about before all of this? Stonehenge. Very good, Anglo. Oh God, no! Don't say that, Gavin. Don't say that. Jeez, no. All them paintings will burn. Will be burned soon. No, don't say that. No, no, I don't. Don't say it. Don't even think it. That would definitely. That would definitely set some people off, including me. Started doing anything like that. That would definitely set me off. Just try not entertain the thought. But I just was taken aback when I saw it. Oh, I were talking about women. That was it. Women. Yeah. Yeah, I was telling you how good Lorraine was as a model, a photographic model, and she was. She was very good. Uh, I'll let you see this. There's one for you. This will take you. There we go, back in time there. This is me at the age of 28. Now that's a professional photograph, not taken by me, by the way, but by a Paisley photographer. Oh, there's Mr. Johnson. I am indeed, Julia, left-handed. Thus, I have a right-handed guitar there, which has been turned upside down, and that's why it has a scratch plate on both sides. I'm making pasta bolognese, says Toffee. Did it cost me a few bob, says Mr. Johnston. I honestly don't remember it. I don't think it was that expensive. It was a one-man business up in what was called, I don't know if you know Paisley at all, even if you're a Scot or not. It's up in the west end of Paisley, single shop unit. He'd obviously been there for a long time, this one, and did this portrait for me. It was used, I used it for a couple of years, send it out to agents and stuff. That's it. Not ideal, I might add. It's not ideal to do that with a guitar. If you're not left-handed, what you probably won't appreciate is that when you swing a guitar around like that, because it's not made to be that to happen, for that to happen, You like the haircut, do you? You can never get it quite in tune. It's always, if you get it, that's why I've got a capo on. I've got it tuned on the third fret. But if I take that capo off, the guitar will be slightly out of tune. Mad haircut, eh? Well, you can imagine then, folks, that when oh God, no, never, jeez, no, glory, hallelujah, no, no, not never, oh God, no. What was I going to tell you? So when I got my first guitar, my mother, of course, bought it, and Santa Claus delivered it when I think I was going on 12 when I got my first guitar. And of course, it was upside down and it was out of tune. I didn't know that, of course. I didn't realize that you had to play a guitar. I just somehow thought that you just hit it and it made music. Ultra nationalist is saying, my mate taught me to play Waterloo Sunset on guitar years ago. That photo is impressive, mate. Old school. Yeah, it is old school. So that was my introduction to guitars. Was this this guitar that my mother bought for me? Now, the thing is, what I didn't know, and only found out much later when I became more and more interested in politics, the reason for this business about the guitars was that there was an import ban from America on all sorts of different goods after the Second World War. And musical instruments was one of them. So at that point, in order for Hank Marvin of the Shadows to get his Stratocaster, Cliff Richard took a plane, flew to USA, bought a Fender Stratocaster and brought it back here so he could get one. That's how he got his first Stratocaster, because they were not allowed to be imported at the time. No good instruments were. And then they changed the law, and that's when the country was flooded with these cheap acoustic guitars and cheap electric guitars. And that's how I got mine, was my mother bought me it. But I didn't know how to play it. I didn't even know it was upside down. Didn't know that you had to tune it. I knew nothing about the instrument. That's true. And there was nobody that I knew had a guitar. And also, obviously, I didn't know anyone who could play one. Toffee. I had a skinhead most of my life, then realised it was a shame because I've actually got nice hair. Well, I certainly hope you don't have it now, Toffee, because that would be a shame. You've got to have the face for that, which is what Doberman's saying, skin for life. Bro, I've got the heat for it. And that's true, you need to have the right shape of head. I doubt it, I don't know. No idea if he was a National Socialist or not. I never met him. Went to see him when I was very young in Glasgow. Yeah, that was me. Once I realised that it didn't make music, and it didn't take very long to discover that. It lay in a corner of my room. It lay in the corner for over a year, gathering dust. And then the school oops, I don't even know the melody, to be honest with you. My God. I bought my son his set of bagpipes when he was 15 in 1986. I remember you telling me this before, Rory. They cost me £1,000 back then. I told him, you can't play these. You can't give these up, my son. He never did. Oh God, my mother could never afford anything like that. That's for sure. Well, my guitar lay there until the music teacher was changed in the school. A new music teacher arrived in the school when I was in second year. And she was determined that she was going to do something musical to help us all. And she started doing guitar lessons at the end of the school day. And I went to these guitar lessons, and that's how I got started playing guitar. And then when I started a group, we did what everyone was doing back then, and that was you were all hung over the record player, trying to find little bits of the melodies. But yeah, that first guitar just never occurred to me they had to be played. I just saw Elvis up on the big screen there and thought, he's not really doing it. But all my mother's life, her whole life, right up until she died, she never changed. She always said, very hard, it broke my heart when she would say it, but she would always say, the worst thing I ever did was buy you a guitar. And that was very upsetting to me. And I like playing the electric. I've got an electric guitar. I've got a Fender Telecaster, a real Fender Telecaster, Sunburst. I had one back when I was in my 20s, a white one. And now I've got a sunburst. The other guitars, and I've got an electric bass. I bought an electric bass simply because Ah, very good, boss. Wish I had a drum kit and acting like I'm Ginger Baker at that hour. Mr. Rodney J. So yeah, I bought an electric bass. The last hour, less than the last hour, the music store in the town was closing. It was a Saturday, and it was closing for good. And he had one guitar left hanging on the rack on the wall, and it happened to be a left-handed bass guitar. So I bought it. I used to play bass in the group. I don't know this case, to be honest, Ultra. What's your opinion on the Chris Donald situation in Glasgow? The family can't even support the death of his anniversary, or the anniversary of his death, because the Muslims threatening the family. Jesus. Who runs Glasgow, eh? Yeah, good question. Good question. I don't know anything about this, to be honest with you. I couldn't give you a proper answer. That's not the young man that they beat up and then they burned and left them. Is it somebody else I'm thinking of? Music died with Wagner. I don't know anything about it, to be honest. I really don't. Ah, Sir Thomas Aquinas. Rest in peace, Chris Donald. It is the same lad, isn't it? I've got the same lad. That young fella years ago, a few years back. Yeah, yeah, that is the same lad. I don't know about the situation though that you're asking me about. I really don't. Do you have any videos of your band back in the day? Asked Mr. Johnson. This may come as a shock, Mr. Johnson, but back when I had a group, there was no such things as a video machine or a video camera or a camera that people could afford to buy. So the answer is no. No. Such technology wasn't there. Most of you're probably forgetting what age you are. When I started in a group, right, the amplifiers had valves in them. And when you turned them on, you had to wait a few moments so the valves would heat up. Did you do any gigs in the countryside? No. No, we did not. Nearest we got to doing gigs in the countryside was round the back of the house. Such as this. This is the nearest we ever got to play in the countryside. I'll make myself smaller, make the photograph bigger. There you go. I'm the one with the bowler hat on, you might know. Actually, the neighbours were quite good, to be honest. A lot of truth there, Ultra. Well, the other thing about valve amps is that you can repair them if you know the valve number, if you have the valve number, which we used to have. So we always carried spare valves with us. But as I say, this is the beginnings of electric guitar music. It wasn't quite like that either. I wish I had been, but it wasn't. Yeah, there was lots of girls hung about the stage, of course there was. Lots of them. This guy up at the back playing bass, this fella here, he's a police cadet. This fella here, he's an apprentice Freemason. Did you all used to see in black and white back then, John? That's Anglo. No, the police, believe it or not, this is true. I'm not making it up. No, the police cadet, at this point, he's engaged, all right? But shortly after this photograph was taken, he disappeared out of the town with some other woman who wasn't his fiancée, and obviously he quit the police and disappeared. And a bit of a disgrace. Kid you not. No, I don't. I don't know actually. I don't think so. There's nobody there could play the flute. As I say, he was a Freemason of an apprentice. budgie. I've got a Vaux SE15 limited edition British racing green. Amazing. Wow, good for you. Good for you. I've got a modern practice amp, 15-watt job. I got it because I bought the bass guitar, of course, and it was handy for the keyboards that I've got. I've got 2 sets of keyboards. Well, he was older than us. He was a good bit older than us. He's dead now. Most of these guys, he's dead as well. Robert's dead. He's dead. This fella's dead. And I think Bobby's dead. I think he's dead. He was an apprentice engineer. I was the unskilled labourer at the end here. Oh, God. So I've always had this thing for hats, you see. And this in the background is a high flat. This is the first of 3 high flats that are being built, brick by brick, I might add. Took years for these things to go up. 3 of them. So there you go. That's the group that I started. And then it went on to become there it is. Show you this iteration of the band. There you go. This is a Gibson bass I'm playing here. Rickenbacker. This is Ian Ferris. He used to play the keyboards. Can imagine that as a young fella, you dreamt of a yearned owning one of those cool American guitars back in those days. Yeah, you did. Are any of those guys alive? Asks Mr. Johnston. Yep. That guy. The guy speaking to you now. He's the only one that's alive. Ian died. God almighty, Ian died when he was only 30. I don't know whatever happened to Ian. This plonker here, he died when early 40s, triple bypass, bad eating habits, bad drinking habits. This fella here, Tom Dougherty, he's dead too. Great electric guitar player, great lead player. Drink killed him. He's dead, but I don't know what he died of. He was the drummer. That's Doogie, the drummer. Yeah, in those days there was only three kinds of guitar we talked about: Gibson, Guild, and Gretsch. That was it. I've got and have had for 20 odd years now a Guild acoustic, lovely guitar, beautiful blonde colour, and as I told you, the Fender Telecaster. So there you go there. And we got one more. Yeah, we've got one more. I'll let you see one more. This was a publicity photograph that was taken. And there you go. The cravats. I think this boy's dead as well. He had a terrible industrial accident to his hands. So there you go. Yeah, Doberman, as far as I know, they're all dead except the one that's speaking to you. It's 11 guitar. Again, you'll notice it's upside down. Very, very few guitars in those days that were made left-handedly. Budgie, I dreamt about having a beautiful semi-acoustic guitar for years. Now I've got two, a Fender Colorado and an Epiphone. Nice. Don't know about the Colorado. I've never heard that, I don't think. Epiphone, yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, absolutely. Nice guitar. This is Ludwig drums, by the way. This is a Fender Strat. I can't remember what it's one of the Fender bass guitars he's got there, and I've got this acoustic. We always questions Bobby here with his, did he really like the girls or was he really into boys? Bass, I'm 48. I've lost two mates too soon already before they entered into their silver fox years. I know it's tragic, isn't it? I've lost a lot of pals. It's really tragic. A lot of my schoolmates are already dead long ago. Drink mainly, to be honest. Drink. God. Did any of the guys do themselves in? Oh, that's a question. To my knowledge, Mr. Johnston, to my knowledge, no, but I'll tell you, this guy here, see this fella here, with the acoustic guitar, he had a couple of goes at it. Obviously didn't succeed, but he had a couple of good, determined tries. The bevy kills most up here, says Doberman. I'm telling you, folks, I don't even like to think about how many the fellas in school, fellas that I played music with, all going through drink mainly. I had 3 serious attempts. I don't want to drink again. Wasn't drink with me, to be honest. Problems of the mind. Thank you. We were satirically elegant. We were. And we had, I've still got my cravat, my original cravat. It's in a drawer at the other side of the room. Believe it or not. Still got it. Well, I'm so pleased to hear that, Bass. I really am. I'm not just saying that. I'm really pleased to hear that you're past that. I got off easy after years of staring at the bottom of a glass. That's 9 months ago now. Oh, that's good. You keep up the hard work, and I'm sure it's hard. If you ever need any help, don't hesitate. Not that I'll be much of a help, because I've never had that problem with booze. But if I can ever help, don't hesitate. I've been sober for a few years, says Mr. Johnson. I was fed up of having man boobs. I mean, it's not funny. I'm laughing, but it's really quite tragic when you begin to realise just how much of a problem alcohol has been in this country. And I'm talking about Scotland now. And now it's bloody drugs. Maybe it's both. How would I know? But drugs is a huge problem in Inverclyde. Huge problem. It used to be drink. And there are no simple, straightforward answers to these things. Dangerfield is right. What's been taking us back by intentions in our countries for many generations. Oh, for God's sake, don't speak common sense. Goodness sake. There is a massive problem with drugs now. Guys in my local are always boofing stuff in the toilets. I have a solution to drug abuse, says Doberman. I believe there is a direct correlation between the two things. I'm sure if we could draw a graph starting, say, when I left school, 1960, you would get a straight line graph between these different influences. I'm of that firm opinion, Anglo. I really am, and I have been of that opinion for a long, long time, I might add. Ultra sane politicians are the problem. Yeah. Fentanyl is a big killer in the US. Yeah, so I believe. So I believe. Solution is physical, not political, says Ultra. Not quite sure what he means by that. I'm sure he'll explain himself if he wants. Just not quite sure what you mean when you say that physical. I know it's not political. I definitely would agree with that. It's not a political thing. It'll take more in politics to sort that one out. It also produces some of the finest weed in Britain. The economy is missing billions free to weed. That's a subject that's I've been asked about in the past. What would I do if I was in charge? What would I do about that? About drugs? It's a tough one. It really is a tough one. No, I don't think we are, Anglo. I don't think we are. I think you could possibly, and I'm could be way out of line here when I say this. I think you might be able to divide the drug problem, and I'm going to lump it in with alcohol as well. But I think you could probably divide it into those who have got real psychological problems, and that's why they're taking drugs, or that's why they started taking drugs. And then you've got the other people who started taking drugs partly because their mates were doing it, just like it was with the drink. Doberman saying, I'm telling you, you give folk one chance, then it's the motivational firing squad. That'll sort it out. Again, I'm not going to argue against that. I've often thought about what we need is a white wall, lots of white paint, and a machine gun. Because after a while, that wall is going to get awfully red. Anglo, I was on a list the minute I applied to start a political party. And possibly I was on it before then. I know I'm on a list. Thing is, it doesn't frighten me. And I'm not sure, but I don't think it's to do with my age that I'm not frightened. You can't live in fear. We are all a threat. It just depends on how much of a threat you are. Independently, we're not much of a threat. Together, we are a hell of a threat. That's for sure. Got a date with another stream, says Linda. Really enjoyed the weather. Thank you. Cheerio. Chat. Okay. You take care, Linda. I'm on the list and proud. And I'm proud, says Oprah. That's what I like to hear. Defiant to the end. Quite right. Gavin saying, quite right. The working drinker would have a family. These druggies have non-population decline, import, third world badness. Yeah, how can you argue with that when you look back and you see the huge families that working-class people had, and the guys were usually all heavily drinkers? Who can argue with that? The logic there. So there you go, folks. I hope you enjoyed looking at these photographs. Not exactly done in order or anything like that. But there you are. Doberman saying I might even get called up to round you guys up. I'm still on the colours. A job's a job, eh? I doubt it. I doubt it that you'd get called up. You get called up, yeah, they'll show your name. Hey, you, over here. Well, folks, it's the beginning of the weekend, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And that's quite a squad there, Anglo. It's quite a squad. Like that. Bass. So with you, now is your time of grief, but I will see you again, and you will rejoice, and no one will take away your joy. John 16:22. The text is the red line in my life. Good for you. Good for you. I like that. I like that, boss. So with you, Now is your time of grief, but I will see you again, and you will rejoice, and no one will take away your joy. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yep, the pipes are calling. 11 o'clock and all's well. So yeah, you folk, you have a good weekend. Why are there so many fatties? I think there's a number of very obvious reasons why there's a number of fatties. A, the food that is available has been screwed about with long enough. That's one reason. I think the other reason is there's too many people, and I'm not just saying women, I'm saying men and women, who don't cook from scratch. I'm old enough to be able to say to you that I was brought up entirely on food that was made from scratch. Okay? And a number of other reasons. If I had my way, I would severely cut down the amount of American fast food joints that are in this country. And I'm not just saying that for the sake of answering that question. This is a policy I've had for a long, long time. If I could do it, I would. '77th Brigade. Good evening. So, as always, friends and folks and friends, adios, au revoir, cheerio, and until Tuesday, all being well, I'll see you all on Tuesday, and thank you, all of you, for being here tonight. And maybe we should talk about why people are fat on Tuesday. But in the meantime, enjoy the music, and I will speak to you, God willing, on Tuesday.
Silently the snow falls, paints a winter scene, swiftly spreads the dark rim, hides a fading autumn green. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, conjure friendships dear to me. Lightly now the breeze flows, disturbing more than just the leaves. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow. Patiently the love grows, lifts the weary heart. Gently now she holds me, melts two worlds once apart. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, usher dreams of you and me. Softly then the breeze blows, disturbing more than just the trees.
All together now.
But love's much more,
So much more
than we can know.
we can ever possibly know,
We are one small glow,
but an important glow.
in the eternal flow. Melodies of long ago, songs of innocence, harmonies to soothe the soul, as a consequence. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, awakening joys of you and me. Silently the snow falls, bringing winter symphony.
All together now.
But we're much more than we can know.
And we can never possibly know.
We are one small glow,
An important glow,
in the eternal flow. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow, in the eternal flow.
you take care, folks. And thanks again for being here. And we'll speak again soon. So take care. Bye just now.